Relief is in sight for residents and businesses cut off by a huge slip near Whanganui. State Highway 4 between Whanganui and Raetihi has been shut since the beginning of October after a sudden and dramatic slip came down through farmland. It's been a tough few months for local businesses in Raetihi who rely on passing trucks and cars coming along the highway for business. But now the town is set to return to normal with the reopening of the road just in time for Christmas. Our reporter Jonathan Mitchell and cameraman Dom Thomas returned to the area this week.
Dense forest blankets the hills above State Highway 4. It's a hive of activity today. Forest manager Woody Martin says about 500 tonnes of logs are being trucked out every day. He says the forestry owners have been directly hit in the pocket by the road closure.
If we bring it back to a per hectare value, we're probably talking something like it's probably a $3,000 per hectare hit on their returns. So you're talking about a $25,000 a hectare return reducing to $22,000 a hectare. And when a forest owner's waited for 25 to 30 years for that return, it's a pretty significant drop.
He says it's a double blow for forestry owners. It comes off the back of a drop in export prices in July.
Once you're in and you've started logging, you unfortunately have to really ride it out and just manage your way through that through that process.
Directly over the fence from the forest is Bevan Prophet's farm on Burrell Road. He's got a digger contractor who travels from Raetihi around the long way and then out by the cordon entrance to his farm.
For me, with our contractor, so I've actually paying him an extra hour travel each day, which I don't normally do. But why should he stump it on his back himself? I don't think it's right. So we've chucked some of that cost. We're sharing it 50-50. So.
News this week that a temporary road built on top of the old highway will open on Friday is a huge relief for those living north of the slip in Raetihi. The only way to reach the area from Whanganui is to take an hour-long detour road via Whanganui. Immediately after the slip, there were worries Raetihi would become a ghost town. Lynn Griffin-Chappell runs the Angel Louise Cafe. She says those fears haven't eventuated, but it hasn't been easy.
Up until October, it was pretty cool. From October on, it has been a hard slog. That last couple of months has been a few lost nights worth of sleep, thinking, when you've had a really, really quiet day, if I have too many of those, what's going to happen?
But you are hoping that's not going to be the case?
No. And, when we first spoke, I was upbeat about it. I was worried, but I was upbeat about it, thinking, no, I'm not prepared to shut. The town needs cafes like this. It needs Ange, it needs me, it needs the Caltex.
A couple of staff have left and have not been replaced, and she's desperate to have those Whanganui commuters again.
And the locals are fantastic, but the locals aren't enough. We need that. We need that passing trade. The whole town needs that passing trade.
It's also been a tough time for Rebecca Mead at the Raetihi Holiday Park and River Canoe attraction.
People did cancel, and they changed their plans and they decided it was easier just to go to another operator rather than keep driving around, and also trying to deal with the confusion because NZTA, even on Campermate, it flashes up as people drive closer and closer. It says, road closed. So we've had to change on Campermate saying, Raetihi Holiday Park, we're still open. And as people drive closer, they still think, oh no, is it actually open? They're still worried because it keeps on flashing up on their screens. So.
Ron and Alison Hope, along with their old black Labrador Jock, run Ranfurly Cottage, which is popular with passing tourists. She says visitors are still passing through to stay, but the small town has been silently suffering.
At the same time, there's a lot of people that come through that will just stop anyway. If they want to come through to Raetihi, they will come and they'll just have a cup of coffee and perhaps they'll go back. But of course, having State Highway 4 closed, it limits their travels, but it is quieter, definitely.
The only petrol station in Raetihi has also seen a drop-off in customers, especially truckies. However, the locals are doing their bit to shop there. The Transport Agency's Mark Owen says it has not considered financial compensation for hard-hit businesses.
No, it's not something we typically do. I mean, the town isn't cut off, it's just that they've lost a lot of through traffic. So people that would normally travel, say, from Whanganui up through to National Park would travel through Raetihi and may stop off. At the moment, they can still get in there coming via Whanganui. It's just that it's sort of not a through route like it was. So we've encouraged our suppliers to station themselves up there. So a lot of people that are working on the site are based in Raetihi, and that's just helping to sustain the town and just provide a bit of income for the people that live in that area, for the businesses and the community up there.
The plan is to open the temporary road on Friday, while work continues on plans for a permanent solution. A decision on that is still months away. In Raetihi for Checkpoint, called Jonathan Mitchell, tēnei.